views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hello, everyone, hermanos, hermanas. Welcome to another episode of Meetings of the Minds in partnership with BronxNet. These segments are geared to making sure that you understand who our members are, who our affiliates are, who our partners are. Each episode will enlighten you, we hope, about all the resources that are available to take our businesses to the next level. More importantly, you will understand firsthand who supports you and who you need to support. We are a membership organization, so if you're not yet a member, it's very easy. Just visit www.hispanicchamber.nyc, www.hispanicchamber.nyc. You can also follow us on LinkedIn, fully spelled out, New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Engage with us. Let us know what you're working on, what resources you have, and we'll be more than happy to have a conversation and collaborate. So the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, as you all know, serves as a resource for small businesses, including minority women business enterprises. MWBEs have been fighting the good fight for equity when it comes to contracts. It has not been easy. It's always a fight for that equity and that percentage and that money that can help take our businesses to greater heights, which means our communities will be better equipped to hire more people, to give employment, give scholarships, and educate and transform entire generations. It is my pleasure to introduce Roxanne Neilson, who is the founder of RMNeilson Associates. This business was founded by Roxanne in 1999. I would venture to say way ahead of the time. I mean, I don't want to tell you where I was in 1999 or what I was doing because it's not a good look. I'm a changed woman. The firm provides owners representation services on complex capital development projects. She is a full service facilities, MWBE program coordinator, owners representation, and real estate firm ready to assist clients with complex capital and mega structure projects. But these are things that I could barely say in one sentence. It is my honor to definitely speak to the one and only Roxanne. Roxanne, how are you and how is your family?
Thank you so much, Sulma, and thank you so much to the community. And we're all recognizing Hispanic Heritage Month. And so I'm really happy to be invited today to come and join you. And when you do read all those things, even I'm like, wow. But, I think as you get older, as I am, and you've done, plenty of work, it becomes the body of work for your entire career. So I'm fortunate enough to have worked on some of the most interesting projects in the world, I feel, in terms of construction, first as a union-trained carpenter's apprentice. And I came to be a carpenter and a welder through apprenticeship, which I'm very proud of. But I also, I did my undergraduate degree and at Swarthmore. So I have both sides and have worked in communities. Born in the Bronx, I might add. I'm born in the Bronx, and our family still has a place on Finley Avenue. So, I think that's also very part of my of my background is the Bronx. The Bronx is definitely close to our heart.
It's what it is. That Bronx fire and that Bronx grind is definitely inside all of us. I mean, a woman carpenter, actually, you are the first woman carpenter that I've ever come across. So I just want to commend you for all your hard work over these years. Again, you were way ahead of your time. What made you start RMNeilson Associates? What did you feel was needed besides a woman-owned business?
Actually, I can't really, it's a very interesting, I've never, most people don't know. I did start the company in 1999 under duress. I was at Brooklyn Academy of Music working as a construction coordinator under Harvey Lichtenstein, and that was a really interesting time to be at BAM, where we did the BAM Rose Cinema. And then a friend of mine reached out to me and said that there was a project owner at 285 Madison Avenue at Young and Rubicam, which Madman was based on, that needed a construction coordinator, and would I be interested? And so I said, sure. I went to the interview, and the project owner said, this isn't a job. We want to give you a contract. So I just, yes. And then I ran home, started the company, named my price, and got insurance, and there we are. We started in 1999 as an owner's rep for Young and Rubicam, doing what is now the Edna National Conference Center at 285 Madison Avenue, and worked for many years doing project management, owner's representation, but always coming back to to the community. So my really first, after I did my apprenticeship in Hawaii, so I spent like 10 years in the Pacific, and that's a whole nother journey. But that's where I got my construction experience, working on bridge and tunnel, and working at Pearl Harbor. So I had some really interesting experiences. But when I came to New York, it was cold, and I was like, I am not working out in that cold. And so I actually joined forces with a team that was doing work at Chase Bank, doing project management, and that's where I got my finishing, like learning how to do project management. And I worked for the South Bronx Job Corps Center as an outreach, admission, and placement manager, because I thought it was important to give back. I had gotten so much out of apprenticeship, which I knew many people do not have access to. So at the Job Corps, it was my way of working with the young people to give access to this technical training in a residential program. I think it's really great, and that's the South Bronx Job Corps Center. So I always got to give props to South Bronx Job Corps.
My goodness, impressive. And I think what I find even more impressive about the whole thing is that when you first got that opportunity, when you ran, you didn't say no. Right? You went home, did the proper paperwork, got your insurance. Anyone else would have taken that as an opportunity of defeat or not now, but you ran with it and you walked right into your destiny. And your destiny also included giving back to the community, which I believe will continue to mark your success. How is your business opening doors for more minority-owned businesses as you continue to give back and share your knowledge? How are you doing that?
Well, the thing about having a business is that right now I serve also as a full-time as the MBDA director under the Business Outreach Center Network. And as the director of that U.S. Commerce program, I'm really able to share with business owners my experience. I understand construction, all facets of construction, and I connect businesses to procurement opportunities, to capital, and the Business Outreach Center Network is a great organization. But in addition, I still, in my own business, am providing leadership now to help minorities connect to offshore wind, and I really feel strongly. And in the Bronx, I have to say now, before the end of the program comes so quickly, that in the Bronx, there's some special funding, thanks to Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez at SUNY Maritime, to train workers in offshore wind and technical training. This is a very important opportunity for minority communities, but we're not aware of renewables. Why in our communities are we the ones most subject, according to the EPA, to damages and harms from pollution and climate change, yet we're the last ones to benefit from renewables. And we really have to change the paradigm by becoming educated. And so now, even though I'm older, I recognize the importance of pivoting again. And in my career, and we talked about in the beginning, how it seems like I've done so much. It's a constant pivot. And now I'm totally pivoting to green technology, to green infrastructure and training. And I feel very wedded to the idea of getting our community training in offshore wind, in renewables, and anything I can do to promote that, I will. So right now, I'd like to say that, listeners should investigate the program at Maritime, SUNY Maritime. This is going to be an entry-level training opportunity, and I'm not sure when the program is actually going to start, but we should definitely put a placeholder there. In our community, it's so important for our children and the young people to have access to this industry.
Sure. You mentioned an operative word there, pivoting. I think even during 2020, many businesses had to just pivot the way they do business. I mean, look at us now. We're doing a Zoom instead of being in a studio, right? So I think we have all been forced to pivot. My main concern is there are many MWBEs, minority women-owned business, that are just pretty much if you're doing carpentry, that's all you do. If you're doing welding, that's all you do. How do you get these existing companies to pivot? How do you introduce renewable energy and technology to them as an option?
That's a wonderful question, Sulma, and it's one that we should all be asking, because in asking that question, we're going to be seeking the answers. How do we transform? And Dewey, who was an educator, he wrote that education is the great leveler. All right, but I would say that now technology is the great equalizer. We must be early adopters of new technological advances for each of our fields. We have to be even uncomfortable, but we must adopt these new technologies. We must pivot our companies to do business in a new way. I think the pandemic has forced us to do that. And those companies that are successful at pivoting are the ones that will survive.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Survival, it's nature, right? Survival of the fittest. It's what it is. I want to know, or we want to know, how do we get in contact with you? Where do we find you, more information, or even an appointment to meet with you, a consultation?
Right. So I think now that we are really looking to expand opportunities in offshore wind, if you're interested in joining our Slack channel, you can reach out to me through my website, bigtreesmallaxe.com.
Thank you so much, Roxanne. It has been such an honor to speak with you.
Oh,
it almost feels like we need to speak even further and break so many, compartments of this conversation up, because each of them come with their own important, important resource for our communities. So you heard it here first. Please reach out to Roxanne Neilson, especially for consultation or any questions you may have. But this is the end of our segment for today. For more information about the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, or to become a member, please visit www.hispanicchamber.nyc, www.hispanicchamber.nyc, and don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn, New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.com. It's not a .com. New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Thank you.
Thank you so much.